The disrespect toward the Carolina Panthers has reached a fever pitch, and quite frankly, it is getting exhausting to watch. I've been scrolling through the latest preseason rankings and expert analysis, and I keep seeing the same, tired headline, that the Carolina Panthers are heading into the 2026 season with the single worst edge rushing room in the entire NFL. They're out there painting this unit as a total disaster, a catastrophic liability that they claim is going to sink the defense before we even hit week 1. Let me be crystal clear, that is a complete and total fabrication. It is lazy, it is uninspired, and it is a blatant slap in the face to the massive, aggressive moves this front office has made to retool this roster from the ground up. Before we dive into the cold, hard facts, before we pull up the tape that proves the doubters wrong, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest, most accurate, and most high-octane NFL updates on the planet. We don't do filler content here. We analyze the game the way it's actually played, and you do not want to miss a single second of this breakdown. Let's talk about the reality of the 2026 Panthers. Was the pass rush a sore spot during the 2025 campaign? Of course. You don't have to be an analyst to see that the team struggled to find a consistent rhythm in getting home to the quarterback. But claiming this group is the worst in the league in 2026 is an insult to the progress that has been made. This isn't the same group anymore. The front office looked at the stats, they looked at the film, and they decided to stop playing games, investing heavy capital to fundamentally shift the identity of this defense. People are still living in the past because they're too lazy to look at the new identity being forged in Charlotte. You don't drop a $120 million contract on a premium edge defender if you're content with sitting at the bottom of the league standings. This organization is building a foundation for a playoff run, and the worst in the league label is nothing more than a lazy narrative meant to generate clicks from people who haven't watched a single OTA or practice session. But wait until you hear why the analytics community is missing the forest for the trees when it comes to the impact of our veteran leaders. There is this bizarre, repetitive obsession in the modern NFL media landscape with vanity numbers, specifically, total sack counts. People look at a guy like Jaelan Phillips, see his stat line from last year, and they immediately write him off as a disappointment or an overpay. That is textbook lazy analysis. If you actually put on the tape, you see something entirely different. Phillips is an elite, high IQ, all-around force. He is a prototypical edge defender who can drop into coverage, set the physical edge against the run, and force opposing offensive coordinators to shift their entire game plan just to account for his presence on the field. Last year, despite what the critics say, he was elite in key categories like total pressures and pass set win percentage. He was consistently winning his reps, yet people are hung up on one final number. If he regresses to his career average in sack conversion, we are looking at a high-impact, double-digit sack season. He is exactly the catalyst this defense needs to get off the field on third downs and finally transition from a mid-tier defense to a dominant one. He isn't just an edge rusher, he is the anchor that allows the rest of the front seven to play with their hair on fire. While Phillips brings the veteran intensity and the professional standard, the real reason I am genuinely hyped for the 2026 season is the internal development of our young core. The Panthers doubled down on high-ceiling talent with Nick Scourton and Princely Umanmielen. Scourton is a student of the game who has been putting in serious work. He wasn't satisfied with his rookie performance, so he's been training with absolute legends of the craft, working relentlessly on his rush paths and his leverage. He's learning how to maximize his frame against massive NFL tackles instead of just trying to outmuscle them with raw strength. When you watch the film from his first season, the signs were all there. He's diagnosing the play before the ball is even snapped, shutting down screens, and playing with a motor that simply does not quit. And then there is Princely Umanmielen. If you want to talk about raw, terrifying potential, look at his tape. He has a stride length that allows him to close space faster than any offensive lineman can react. I have seen him punch the ball out in the backfield and create momentum-shifting turnovers that could define a season. He is still refining his technique, but the foundation is already elite. Once these guys integrate fully into the rotation, the league is going to be in for a massive, cold reality check. The disrespect is loud right now, but the apology is going to be even louder once this season kicks off and this pass rush starts pinning their ears back. Every time these guys step onto the field, they are proving that they have the size, the speed, and the intelligence to compete with anyone. This isn't just hope for the future. This is a team that is actively building a contender in the trenches. When Phillips is drawing the double teams and Scourton and Umanmilan are winning their one-on-ones, the entire defensive structure is going to look completely different than it did a year ago. So, let me ask you, are you buying the hype, or are you still siding with the doubters who think this group is a bottom-tier unit? I am betting on the talent and the work ethic we have seen all spring. We are tracking these guys all year long, and trust me, you do not want to miss the reaction when this unit finally gets the respect they deserve. We are looking at a defense that is poised to break out. The addition of Phillips provides that veteran presence that was missing, but the growth of Scourton and Umanmilan provides the long-term ceiling. When you combine that with a hungry locker room and a coaching staff that knows how to put these guys in positions to succeed, you have the recipe for a massive turnaround. The 2026 season is going to be defined by how teams handle this front four. If you're an offensive coordinator, who are you worried about? You can't double-team everyone.
That's the beauty of this roster construction. They have built a group that is versatile, aggressive, and, most importantly, hungry to prove the doubters wrong. Drop a name in the comments below. Who do you think is going to lead the team in sacks this year? Is it the veteran Phillips, or are we going to see a breakout year from Scourton? Let's see who really knows their football. Make sure you're staying locked in for all our deep dives into this roster. We're going to be tracking these guys all year long, and trust me, you don't want to miss the fallout when the rest of the league realizes they were wrong. Subscribe, turn on those notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.